In a recent interview, Pep Guardiola said, "If we don't get rid of players, I will quit." He said that in response to having to leave players at home, players that are employed by Manchester City, having to leave them at home, not even on the bench. So my thought is, who would I get rid of? Who would I sell? Not because I want to sell them, not because I want to get rid of them, but for this club to flourish, there has to be a cull. So my first thought is Ake. Now, we're no good with players that are constantly injured. We're no good when Pep's trying to put a starting 11 together that can be put together every week. Nathan Ake, I've seen him lock down Mohamed Salah down that left-hand side, our left-hand side. But if he's not fit, and we can't rely on him to be fit, then he has to go. Contracted until 2027, I reckon we'd get about 15 million from him. Next up, Jack Grealish. Now, the problem with Jack Grealish is, I think after the treble, everyone thought, we've locked down the left-hand side. We've got a good left winger there. Although didn't get bags of goals and assists, he came on and he holds the ball up, and it doesn't matter. Players will go into him, they'll leave something on him, he'll go down and we get a free kick. Not everything is goals and assists. As you can see, Jack Grealish in that treble year, phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. I think once he had his kid, I think we all thought, oh, he's going to settle down now, but he hasn't settled down. I don't know what the problem is between him and Pep, but drinking must come into it. I'm not saying that is a sole problem, but the drinking must come into it. And if Jack Grealish isn't happy, he has to leave. I reckon we'll get 30 million from him. The only problem is his wages. He's on a big chunk of wages. So trying to get rid of him to somewhere like Newcastle, they can't afford that sort of wage. So we would end up paying some of his wages. Next up, Manuel Kanji. Now, this one was a tough one because Kanji, when he's on it, he's on it. And he's another option for right back. And if there's anything we need, it's options for right back. Nunez, I think, will come, well, not good. I think he'll come better. The tail end of last season, he was nearly pivotal. Nunez was nearly pivotal. Akanji came in from Dortmund for a measly 15 million, I think it was, and he was cement straight away. He was strong. He is a good player. But like I said, that cull needs to happen, and I think we get 25 million from him. And I think he would go to the Prem. I think he settled in the UK. I think he settled in the Prem, and I reckon someone like Newcastle would be a good suit for Manuel Kanji. Moving on, Rico Lewis. I am not a fan of Rico Lewis. I'm not a fan of a vanilla player like Rico Lewis. This guy has his fans, but this ain't the time to be sentimental. He doesn't do a good enough job at right back. He doesn't do a good enough job in midfield. He takes too long on the ball. You can predict where he's going to pass the ball. He hasn't got much power in his legs, so he can't do the long pass. For me, needs to go now. Contracted until 2028. And yeah, you'll have people that'll say, oh, it's going to come back to bite us on the ass, like Morgan Rogers, this, that, or whatever. I can't believe that we sold Cole Palmer and we kept Rico Lewis. That is a travesty. I'm not saying Rico Lewis is a bad player. He's just not City level. Last year, he should have been the player that we looked to, and we needed him to shore up that right back position when Kyle Walker left. And he just didn't do it. He couldn't do it. He's not strong enough. He's not quick enough. And for me, it's an easy 30 million. Someone like a West Ham would pay that for Rico Lewis. Moving on, Ilkay Gundogan. This one, you see, you got to get rid of the oldies. You got to get rid of the oldies because that's the problem we've had. If you put someone quick next to Gundogan, he can do it. Like a Kovacic, or a Nico Gonzalez, or a Grealish. He can do it if there's someone like that next to him. The problem is, Gundogan isn't Gundogan anymore. He is not that same player. And rightly so, the guy has aged. He's been phenomenal for us. But the guy has aged. I believe if he started so many games in this past season just gone that he got to extend his contract himself by another year. There's a real threat of that. If I was to see Gundogan next year, I'd want it to be next to Pep on the sidelines, not on the pitch. Bit of an easy one for me. It's just a flat out, I don't want to see him next season. Now this one's a tough one. Kovacic. Kovacic is such a good player. But if Pep wants 22, 23 players, then Kovacic has to go. Kovacic last season was pivotal. With no Rodri, if you look at the stats of Kovacic, he was really, really good. For his age, for what we expect of him, he was really, really good. He's no Rodri, but he let Gundogan do what he needed to do next to him. And if I was to choose between one of the oldies, either Bernardo, Gundogan, or Kovacic to leave, it's Gundogan first, and then it's Kovacic second. Bernardo, he just runs and runs and runs, and he doesn't stop running. And I think to have that older sentimentality, that older thinking, the old experience, the whole old head experience, Bernardo is the guy for that. He's a little whippet, and Kovacic, I feel, would bring us more money. Bernardo left now, I don't think he'd bring us as much as Kovacic. I could be wrong, but it's all guesses here. But if it was my choice, I would get rid of Kovacic because don't forget we got Nico Gonzalez in there, we got Reinders coming in there, we got Rodri back from injury. We just don't need him. We just don't need him. And he's not exactly like a big voice on the pitch. I think Bernardo is a bit more of a big voice than Kovacic is. So, yeah, my decision is to get rid of Kovacic and Gundogan over Bernardo. But who knows? I mean, besides Pep, because Pep said as long as he's at City, Bernardo will be there with him. So, that's maybe a telling sign. Yeah. Some honourable mentions. I think this is the last season for Foden. I think Foden needs to kick on this season, and if he doesn't, there's no point holding on to a player who is mentally gone. That is a player that needs a refresh, a new team. Look at Rashford. I think he's that burnt out being at Manchester United. He appreciates going somewhere else, and I think that would be the case for Foden. I hope you prove me wrong, Phil, and I hope this season you kick on and you come back better than ever, and you show me why I'm an absolute knobhead. But yeah, there's a load of players there that they're too young to say go, stay, whatever. I just hope that Nico O'Reilly gets a shot. I hope that Echeverri gets a shot. I hope that Savio gets a shot. Doku, I don't know with Doku. I'd say similar to Phil. Last season, last chance. If not, off you go to Crystal Palace. let's be fair, that's written in the stars. Doku, he is a Crystal Palace player, if I've ever seen one. Right, guys, like the video, hit that notification bell. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.